Welcome over to Automotive World, everyone. I am your host, Vinny Mystery, and we have some huge news coming out of Volkswagen. Volkswagen here in the United States has issued us a media advisory regarding the new ID.7 launch, and we have an indefinite delay with no foreseeable timetable as to why this model is being launched in terms of a launch date. We have a little press release here and we're going to get right into it. This is going to be huge news for a variety of reasons in VW's electrification here in America, but let's get right into this media advisory. Right here on May 22nd, which is today, Volkswagen issuing a statement, despite in Europe and in Germany, where the ID.7 has seen a higher amount of increase in traffic, in demand in the model than initially expected in both Europe and in Germany, and they say has become the industry standard, winning various awards and comparison tests. In America, Volkswagen is delaying the launch of the ID.7, and they're saying that is due to market-driven choices, listening to the customers as market dynamics continue to change. The production of Volkswagen is delaying the introduction of the ID.7 in the North American market. That is going to include the United States and Canada. Although in North America they did see very, very strong sales growth, which we did cover on the channel, over 27.5%, and that was mainly driven by the SUV segment, even seeing some growth in the ID.4. We know the ID Buzz is coming out in quarter 4. The 2025 ID Buzz will be coming out in quarter 4 of this year, so towards the end of the year going into next year. This is something that we have seen in America prominently. We're seeing this kind of all over the world, all over the world, especially in Europe and other nations. They have a lot more options with EVs, more affordable models. They are seeing a lot of growth over there, but overall the market just around the world for EVs is pure EVs. It's becoming a little bit stagnant. Like I said, in other markets it's growing a lot more, but really in the United States here, pure EVs are just not what customers are buying right now. Hybrids are doing really well. Gas, just pure ICE cars are doing really well. We're seeing some brands that went to full EV add gas motors back in and go back to hybrids or just normal, ICE motors or no electrification. This is going to be really, really big because even though we know that the ID.5 is going to come out in quarter 4 of this year towards the end of next year, the power plant to which the ID Buzz has, or the VW's microbus has, is obviously the same as what they're using on ID.4, same as what they're using on ID.7. So this is a bit interesting for a lot of reasons. Obviously, I think right now, VW has already said, as the market dynamics continue to change, so will they. And really, this is saying one of two things. Despite VW having growth here in America, despite the ID.4 doing well growing, the ID.7, just in America here, they're just not seeing the demand for EVs. We have seen EV demand here in America just come down drastically. And this is not just with VW, this is with all the brands, including even Tesla. We have seen Tesla now essentially fire their entire supercharging team, and they are scaling back on production in terms of construction of new supercharging networks. This is just, in correlation to the way the market is working here in the United States, and especially in Canada. VW is just not seeing enough sales in the electric line, in their electrified line, to bring out the ID.7 right now, especially too as we don't have any pricing, but this is rumored to be around a $50,000 vehicle. This is supposed to obviously replace the Passat and really the CC, or now known as the Arteon. This isn't going to be necessarily a cheap vehicle, and with the ID.4 already out right now, it's doing pretty well, but it's, like all EVs, it's, the market just is not reacting well to them. The EV market is not looking good here in the United States. Also, too, with the ID Buzz now coming out at the end of this year, going into next year, to bring the ID.7 over here, obviously that is, that's a lot of cost that has to be incurred, Dealers have to set up showrooms and service centers a different way. We now need to figure out how to get, parts department, to get all these parts, and even just bringing, even though this vehicle, like all of VW's EVs and like many automakers, they use the same platform or derivatives of it. Even though they are so similar, or we could even argue the same, even if it's a same vehicle on the same platform, it is still very, very difficult to bring, to launch a new market or bring it over from the other side. This isn't surprising. This isn't good news, but this isn't surprising, as we have seen, especially here in America as well. Also, being a VW owner, VW, when it comes to the American market, they don't always like to give us the fun stuff, and they always like to wait a very, very long time here. And I think, as they say, just the market is not reacting to EVs, so it doesn't make sense for them with an ID.4 about, already out, and then the micro bus, the ID bus about to come out. It doesn't make sense for them to launch another model when the market is not reacting to it. So this is really, really big news here, also because we don't have a timeline. We do know, as they say, that the 2025 ID Buzz will arrive in Q4 of this year, so we'll probably be going into next year. But we don't have an official timetable. And obviously, like I said, that is due to the market and how the market reacts. Obviously, if the market sees sustained growth, not just spikes, but sustained growth in electrification, obviously, I'm sure they would speed that up. But this is really, really big news as they share this across just a ton of their vehicles. They use, the same platform. The American market and the Canadian market are really, really big markets. So to not have that ID.7 when we don't really have many EV sedans here in America, if any, this is really, really big news. And like I said, the biggest thing is that we don't have a timetable. We do not have a timetable, and I think with the ID.4 already out, them now going to unleash the ID Buzz, that's going to cost them a lot of money. So even if the market does react well, VW is going to need to see some really strong sales to accelerate the demand to bring this vehicle back here. So this is just really, really not good news in general for VW or any of the automakers. And really, this just kind of unfortunately puts another, a sour taste in people's mouths for EV. And this also just reflects the EV market, because even though seeing, sustained growth, even in America here and across the world with where this vehicle is the industry standard in many countries, just the American market is just not reacting well to EVs, and that's for a variety of reasons, but this is really just purely a reflection of the market. Unfortunately, this kind of sucks as well, because like I said, because we don't have a date of when they would when they're planning or forecasting for this vehicle to come to the US. We can speculate, but we don't have any official information. But like I said, I think it's going to be at least more than a year. At least a year or two, especially that they're going to release the new 2025 ID Buzz. That's also putting a lot of pressure now on the ID Buzz, because the ID.4 does well, but it doesn't, it's still not their top seller. The ID.4, but especially the ID Buzz, needs to do really, really well, because if the ID Buzz doesn't do well, this is not only going to be a reflection of the EV market, this is going to be a reflection for VW into the future, because if the ID Buzz does not do well, not only will we get an even further time frame for the ID.7, we may even possibly never see the ID.7 come to America or the North American market. So this isn't surprising, and VW, they blame it as to the dynamics in the changing market, which, like I said, is not unusual. It is not a surprise here in America. EVs are not doing well. People do not like them for a variety of reasons, whether it doesn't fit their lifestyle, whether it is the cost, whether it is politically. EVs just do not do well in America right now. And just like we have seen many vehicles and many automakers slow down production with infrastructure, slow down production with new models, some even going back and canceling EVs and going back to hybrids or just pure ICE engines with no electrification. This is just another kind of sour note for EVs, and just kind of adds on to those narratives that the EVs are not doing well here, even in the United States, even for brands that are seeing over 27.5% growth. So this is gonna suck, but this is all we have for right now. Like I said, they don't give us any timetable, so we can really only speculate here. But that is gonna do it for now, everyone. Let me know what you guys think of this news. Like I said, this is not uncommon, but let me know what you think. Is it going to get worse for the EV market, not only here in America, but around the world? Is it going to get worse for the ID.7? Is it possible that with the ID buzz coming out, whether it does well or not, is it possible we may never even see the ID.7 come over to the shores here? Let me know what you guys think down below in the comments. Thanks for watching, everyone.